All right, let's get Mr. Guerrero over here. George Guerrero. All right, we're getting the program started, guys. Yes, this is we love going to the streets because of this element. Nos encanta salir a la calle por este elemento que it's so I don't know. You never know, right? You never know.
You never know what to expect.
You never know what you're gonna get, right?
Exactly.
Okay, good deal. All right, welcome. You are watching Community Shield, a program brought to you by the Houston Police Department. We're doing it again. We are on the streets. Well, we're on a remote location. This is High School for Law Enforcement and Justice. Law and Justice, right?
Right, High School for Law
High School,
Justice.
yes. Póntelo aquí yes. So, we're doing it here. Why? Because this is one of our goals with the Houston Police Department. The goals that our chief has as we do collaborative policing with HISD, as we do collaborative policing with all of the agencies in Harris County. And again, we also want to work with the schools. We also want to bring relational policing right where it's needed. And we are doing this at this school because, again, there's something so nice that ties us in with them. They are a school for law and justice. They speak about law enforcement. They learn about law enforcement. They learn about everything in the criminal justice system. And again, we're doing it here. And this is a special event that they're hosting today where they're going to get to talk to law enforcement from the Houston Police Department. Isn't that awesome? I think that is great. We're going to have Super Dave out here. He's going to bring a smoothie truck. All right. We're calling this event Smoothies with the Cops. So all the kids that come out here during their lunch break are going to be getting some smoothies. They're going to be able to talk to police officers, get their questions, and get their answers from the police perspective. So we are hoping that this is going to be a great success for them and a great success for all of us. Everybody wins when we get involved with teenagers, when we are able to speak to them and relate the message that the Houston Police Department has. Now, someone that has been relating this message to the community and has been working very closely in training, and trained so many police officers, trains so many communities out there. He visits civic clubs, visits the PIPs, and knows quite a lot, and also represents the Explorers unit here with the Houston Police Department. How are you doing, Oficial Guerrero?
Good. Thank you very much for having me, Jesus. I appreciate it. Yeah, you're absolutely right. This is a great location to have this event. Where else can you come and talk to these young kids and hopefully mold them in the direction that we want them to be molded in? That's always a plus when we can, even if they don't become law enforcement.
That's right.
Even if they don't, they're in the right steps. They're going in the right direction.
Just instilling some good, just good thinking, good.
Yeah.
Good morals, just speaking to them about good choices, sure. Right? And of course, we also have our community representative right here, Veronica Hernandez. She represents the mayor's office. How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Great. Now, Veronica has a special task today, and I'm going to be revealing that in just a few minutes as we start with Community Shield. This is Smoothies with the Cops at High School for Law and Justice. This is an awesome day. The kids are going to be coming out in just a few minutes, but we're going to get a head start so that we can cover some of these topics. And when they come out, we can give them 100% of our attention. Now, we recognize this day as a Namesake Day, and it's celebrated in March. Now, what's up with the Namesake Day? I've seen so many people, George, Veronica, make mistakes. They go to jail. Some people commit some horrible crimes, and they have these names like Christian. Right? It just blows you away that the name does not connect with the actions, right, of an individual. And sometimes if we live up to our names, it could be so powerful. My name is Jesus, my first name, Jesus. Can I live up to that? I don't know.
That's tough.
It's pretty tough. Yeah. Pretty tough. So the importance of namesake, what do you think? Why it's so important to recognize this week namesake?
You bring up a good point. The names that these kids are named by their parents. Maybe that does have some type of bibliography,
some significance.
Perception. It has so, what do you do with that if these kids are not following the right track? How do you deal with that?
That's right.
Maybe they just need to go back and try to figure it out with mom and dad and say, hey, why did you give me this name?
Yeah.
Why
¿Por
did?
qué?
Yeah, just let's figure it out, and maybe that's a start.
It's a way to bond, right? To make that connection
right.
with your parents, even if you have never spoken about why did you give me this name.
Yeah.
It's a good way to talk about it. Veronica, what is your name? Do you know anything about your name?
I don't know anything about my name.
No.
But I know my kids' names because
Okay,
my son's name is Solomon.
Solomon. Why did you name him Solomon?
I named him Solomon after his father.
Okay.
And he's the third Solomon now, and he's living to his name so far. He's peaceful.
Okay, very peaceful man. Yeah. Okay, good deal.
Good.
And how many kids do you have?
I have two.
2 kids. All right. Any naming of children? Anything
You know,
like that?
it's funny you mentioned that because we do have 2 boys. I have 2 boys, and it's Jacob and Nicholas.
Okay.
So let me give you the background behind that, and this is very short and sweet.
Sure, sure.
I'll just let you know. Wife said so.
Ah!
Wife said so. I'll make it short and sweet for you.
Happy wife,
You know, I'm sure she thought of names because I actually like Christian and Christina and things of that nature. But she liked Jacob and Nicholas, so that's where we're at.
Yeah, and then what does this have to do with police? Well, it's a good way to bonding with people, man. It's
Yeah.
just a good way to relate to people. Right now, everybody's been kind of hiding in their houses, and COVID-19 has been a big hit on everybody. So discover what the meaning of your name is. Talk to your parents, connect with them, and reflect on your name. It's part of discovering the story behind your name, and also it's a day to reflect on the meaning of your name and if you can live up to it, which is a pretty tough task. Now, it's also International Women's Day. Just yesterday, March 8th. It's International Women's Day, celebrating the historical, the cultural, the political achievements of women. This is a very important day, and of course, it's a day to appreciate the work and the efforts of women. How do you feel on this month?
Month of Women's.
Yes.
I feel blessed. I have so many women that I work with that are leaders and community leaders, civic organization leaders that are out there trying to make sure their neighborhood looks well, that everything's kept up to code, that there's a hafe saving in the neighborhood.
Okay. All right. So you've got some powerful women working.
Yes, I have
and
powerful
keeping
women
it
that
safe.
work with me.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Any powerful women that you admire?
Of course, of course,
Okay.
got to start off with the wife. That's
Always playing
the
it
things.
safe, Joe.
That's right. The things that she does with her company. She's moved up. She's the face of her company. It's an insurance company, but she's the face of it. But it just shows you how women have come along over the last 50 years.
Yes.
They've done so much. I mean, we have a vice president who's a female.
Wow.
I mean, that is that says it alone right there.
It's a huge accomplishment.
Sure, and who knows who the next president will be, but I'm sure it won't be long before we have
A women representing
women
up there.
president.
Yes.
That's right.
Again, it's time to think about the women in our lives. There's a lot of female police officers that do such an awesome job. They have a way of treating scenes when they get there. They bring some peace, a peace that I don't know. It's kind of hard for me to bring sometimes. So congratulations, and we're gonna keep celebrating you not only this month, not only this day, but the entire year.
Yeah.
All right. That's how Veronica wants to hear, right? All right. And it's also National Get Over It Day. Get over it, Veronica. Yes. National Get Over It Day. How significant is that to law enforcement? A lot. Think about it. These road rage incidents that we're seeing on the road. People getting angry so quick about things, blasting their horns for little things. Just as I was driving over here, there was a metro bus that was trying to make a turn, and for some reason, there was another individual that was coming from the back and was trying to smack his way through that bus and just blew that horn like nobody's business. And I'm like, is that really needed?
Yeah. At some point, we've got to learn to calm down.
Calm down.
How do you get everybody to be that way? How do we teach the public, the citizens, or even ourselves? I'm sure there's some hot-tempered officers out there also. I'm not going to say there's not. But at some point, how do we do that? And we just got to sit back and reflect, and we got to count to 10, count to 3, count to 50.
10.
I don't care what you did, just relax. It's not anything that people are doing to you per se. Just like the uniform. It's not that it's nothing against me. It's against the uniform sometimes. So.
And it's so significant. He brings in the count to 10 part, and it connects to the sometimes just healing occurs with time,
That's
right? Time. Counting to 10 is so important. It's 10 seconds that it gives you time to reflect on what you're about to do, because you're about to make a mistake if you answer in an appropriate way.
Or you look at someone in a way.
That's right.
Yeah. Again, you're on the roads, you get somebody that cuts you off. Trust me, that's not the biggest thing in the world, okay? I know it upsets you. I know calm down, let it go. Don't make eye contact with people on the road sometimes. And we got to say 99.9999%, 0.999. Everybody's doing great on the road.
Oh, sure.
You just got to have one person that's having an issue that day, and you don't want to be that receiving end.
That's right.
Yeah.
And the consequences are terrible.
Yeah, or abysmal. So much you can lose somebody that's not in their right mind. Some people might be on their last straw. And that was the moment that you got in the way, and it just happened that way. So just be a good witness. There's a lot of people that are purchasing some of those cameras, or you place them in the front.
That's a good idea. Even if you don't purchase one, if you can just get something that puts your phone up there so you can video everything going around you.
That's right. And it's a good way to, if anything happens, anything very extremely dangerous to that driver, that keeps it documented, and you can make a police report, give us a good description, and maybe that person has some other issues going on that we can enforce. Now, self-reflect with a professional. If you cannot let things go, right? If you're just continuing to hold that ugly grudge, let's visit with a professional. What triggers you to get so angry, right? Not let things go. Write it down. Sometimes it's a good thing to write things down.
Yeah.
Okay, you can look at it, you can review it, the good, the bad, what weighs more, the good, the bad, and that's a good way to deal with it. Sweat it out.
Right.
Exercise. How do you deal with stress when you're upset? I deal with it with exercise.
Yeah, and I'm the same way. I'm gonna be perfectly honest. I'm not so sure that my job is very stressful. And so I know there's a lot of stress that's involved, but it's because maybe you let it get to you.
Yes.
Or maybe you do something that you shouldn't have done. That's where the stress begins.
Bad choices.
If you're doing the things you're supposed to do and you're doing them the best of your ability, there should be no stress.
That's right.
I understand that our job and stuff, but that's just the way I look at things. But how do I deal with it? I'm the same way. I go out and I ride my bike. I jump on my bike for an hour. I go out and ride and I ride and I ride and I feel better.
Okay. Veronica, how do you deal with your stress?
I pray.
There you go.
Read the Bible. I try to focus, in different things and family events, and try. I love going swimming.
Okay.
Jump off the cliff into the lake.
There you go.
Okay, so swimming is a good way. And if the lake is really cold, then you're really going to feel it.
Yes.
Good deal. There's many ways to deal with stress. I deal with it by exercising. I like to run every single day. That's how I deal with it. I start with a great day. I notice that when I don't run, my ability to deal with things becomes a little bit more difficult during the day. Like I don't get enough oxygen, I guess, in the brain to deal with things. I don't know. So it's freeing when you let things go. Okay, when you drop things. That's what we're recognizing this week. National Get Over It Day, please. And it's precisely today.
That's great.
All right, now it's also International Day of Awesomeness.
Awesomeness.
Yes.
Okay.
What do you define as awesome, Officer Guerrero?
Peace. Peace.
Okay.
If we can all just get along, that's awesome. There's so many different personalities, so many different people out here, so many different cultures, so many different backgrounds. I just don't understand why we can't all come together.
That's right.
If we can all come together, I think that would be the best day. Awesome.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. National Day of Awesomeness. Smiling could be a way of being awesome.
Yeah. That's a big one.
Yeah.
No matter what the culture or language, the smile says everything.
That's right.
It's known that somebody becomes very attractive when you're a person that smiles.
That's right. That's right.
Right? Big smile. Yeah, there it is.
And there's also a study out there that if you can laugh 50 times a day, I don't know how many times you laugh, but if you can laugh 50 times a day, that helps you.
That's your soul.
Yeah, it does.
So stress. Yeah. What is it, endorphins?
Maybe, I guess, yeah.
So smile is a great way to be awesome. Keeping calm is a great way of being awesome. People that are always tense or worried about things, they're not very attractive. They bring in some of that
bad karma
energy.
Yeah, bad karma.
I remember when it was Officer Guerrero, when he was in the training facility, he was going through the officer safety drills as cadets. We're all just nervous. You don't want to fail these scenarios that they're putting together, because you knew that the way you're going to react, right? They can determine whether you stay in the academy or not. You have to react how you're being trained. So I remember I was tense, but always Officer Guerrero was always calm.
That's right.
And he would be that calm person, and he was the evaluator. He was as calm as could be, and even walked through the process even through a whisper. It wasn't, you didn't need to scream at anybody. It was always calm. And you find out that when you're calm, people bring down their voices and the noise goes down.
You know, I teach at U of H downtown, and I also teach at Lone Star, and that's one of the things I do. I still do the same things, but I just tell people, these cadets, I say, calm down, relax. Remember, this is a perfect world. We're going to be okay in here and stuff. So just keep calm. The whole point is just to pass and do the best you can, but just take a deep breath. Let's relax.
And if that's the same way, if we interacted with the community this way, amongst us, amongst the laity, amongst civilians, that we just treated each other with calmness, even in a moment where there's trial and problems, things would change dramatically. The person that would be aggressive does not have any other option than just to bring it down also, because they look awkward. Awesome people are calm, so practice calmness. Another way to be awesome is just have general knowledge. Somebody that's knowledgeable about things tend to be also pretty cool.
Yeah. You know, it's funny you said that, because you asked me earlier about namesake and what's your name? I don't know. I don't know. But I have no knowledge. But I'm not going to sit here and try to tell you that I do, and I'm not going to try to sit here and explain something that I have no idea what you're talking about. But yeah, when you have some knowledge about something, yes, it works.
And sometimes the best knowledge is to say, I don't know.
That's right.
And that's it. That's knowledgeable, right? It takes somebody to be courageous and at the same time knowledgeable that you're not knowledgeable in the subject. That's pretty cool. So what do you think about that? Knowledge,
I think
you're an encyclopedia, I see.
Well, I tell them what I don't know, I'll find out and I'll get back with you.
There you go.
I don't have the response at the moment, but I'll get back with you.
Yo no sé, dice. Yo no sé, but I'm going to find out.
Yeah.
How important is it to get back to people and not just leave it there?
I try my best to, be prompt in responses back to the community whenever they're asking a question that I'm not familiar with or I don't have knowledge of, and then I can research or find out from someone else, and then I can get back with it.
There you go. It's so important to always get back to people. General knowledge is good. Being active is also very attractive, and it's also a thing of awesomeness.
Oh yes, definitely.
If you're just slugging around, right? It's kind of it doesn't.
Yeah. And being active, that's anywhere. That's the guys out in the streets, the officers out there in the streets. They got to be active. They just can't sit around and do anything. Being active, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're out there working. But if you're just driving around, your car's doing a lot of your work for you. Your car's doing a lot of your work for you. Now, of course, you're driving the car, but that's still being active. That's still being active in the community, because the community sees you driving up and down the streets.
And sometimes people, that's what they want. They want visibility in their neighborhoods. They want to see that police car driving down the street. Again, it's preventative. Right. You're not going to you're not going to get victimized if police are driving by your neighborhood. This brings up something so important, the alert slips that we have in the Houston Police Department. We have alert slips. If you see something going on, you're planning to leave the city and go somewhere, visit your closest Houston Police Department police station and fill out an alert slip so that an officer can be passing by your house periodically, so we know that you're not there in the time that you're not going to be there. Now, of course, we our numbers are pretty low with the amount of police officers out there, but it's always good for us to know that you're going to be out of town. So when we have any free time, we can go and park our shops right there in front of your house, right? Sure. So check out the alert slips. You can also find the alert slips online. Okay. Just let us know. Being a good listener. How important is it to be a good listener, Veronica?
I think it's very important. If you miss, what they're telling you, and then you're trying to get back to them or help them, you need to know exactly what this, the problem is in order to have a solution for it. If you're not listening, and citizens do get upset when you don't listen. Can you repeat? You're not listening? Can you repeat the question to me? Not paying attention.
You know who does that a lot to me? You know who does that? You're not listening? The wife.
The wife.
And I'm like, I am listening. What did I say? Repeat it word for word. I'm like, I don't know what you said word for word, but I know this is what you said.
Yeah.
No, you're not listening.
Yep. Because what she wants you to do is she wants you to listen to understand.
Listen.
Not to respond.
right.
Listen
What
to
you're doing.
understand.
You know what?
I tell the cadets that all the time when
I
I'm
need some
teaching.
tips over
You
here,
need to
you know?
listen to understand, and that's what officers need to do. Not only officers, that's what the community need. Listen to the officer to understand, not to respond back to the officer. Just like the officer, listen to the complainant, listen to the person who called to understand what they need, not just to respond.
Exactly. Oh, there it is.
And I have to
Wisdom.
let a lot
You
of
see?
people vent.
Yeah.
Once they vent and they tell me everything, they feel like they're relieved.
Who also appreciates this? Who also thinks that we're awesome when we're listening? Our kids.
Our kids, yes.
Are listening and answering to what they want and just listening and being responsive to them. It's so valuable.
But you see what you said. You said
Oh, you're
listening to your kids so they understand.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean you have to give them everything.
Yep.
Listen, hey, I want this, I want this, I want this.
Yeah.
That's not what you said. So
That's an awesomeness trait. Listen to your kids. Listen to your youth. Okay. Sometimes it's something so easy, but to them it means the world.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, somebody's messing with them at school. Somebody maybe they don't understand their math problem.
That's right.
You know, don't just say, "Oh, okay, I can't help you, mijito." No, let's call somebody. Call a friend. You know, phone a friend.
right.
Phone another parent in the classroom. Maybe they understand the homework better. Maybe the little friend in the classroom
Now
knows.
you can go to YouTube.
Yeah.
There's a lot of videos there.
That's right. Good point.
You.
It's a great point.
And this is exactly what's going on today in Smoothies with the cops here at High School for Law and Justice. We're here to listen to the kids. We're here to listen to their concerns, we answer any questions that they got as they travel this journey, maybe into law enforcement or maybe into something else. Whatever it is, that's the whole point why we're here in this awesome event here. We also have listening sessions in the PIPs. In a police interaction, positive interaction with police. Every station has their own.
That's right.
PIP events. So check it out. Visit with your PIPs. There are people that make decisions that are listening to you. They're like commanders,
Yeah.
for example. Lieutenants visit these meetings. The chiefs of the police department. And guess what? They're going to give you results. They're taking notes of what's going on, and
Yeah.
they want results.
That's right.
So listening is something that makes you an awesome person, and this is why HPD is so awesome, right?
There you go.
All right. Now, the reason why Mrs. Veronica Hernandez is here, representing the city of Houston, of course, is because this week we're also celebrating the 311 Celebration Day, and it's celebrated actually in 2 days this week. And while we don't have a number of emergency, a number for other, like for example, we have the 911 number, right? We also need a number for non-emergencies, but that are still important. So tell us a little bit about what you do, Veronica. How does this 311 line work? Does it really work? And what happens?
So I'm with the Mayor's Assistance Office, and I've been working with the city for almost going to be 25 years this year. And 311 was a number that came in through one of the prior administrations. I think it was VP Brown. And this number is a one number where several departments of the city were, several call takers. Each department used to have a person that takes calls. You had Public Works take their calls. You had the Health Department. You had BARC. Then you had Solid Waste. So now they made a call center, and it's just one number you call, 301 for city services. From potholes, you're trying to find out when is your trash collection, or your trash was missed, when is heavy trash, municipal courts, tickets. You want to know about your citation that was issued, court date, or you want to change your court date. That's why you call 311 for city services. Health department related, when you have air quality issues, sewer backup, there's a water leak out in you see that out in the streets. Where do you call 311? So major things that are related to city services. If you want to report something in your neighborhood, like a nuisance, there's an abandoned house, there's a weeded lot, there's graffiti on a building, or in the neighborhood, you report that to 311. So we can get an inspector out there to do investigation and then continue to follow up.
Okay. And how important is it to deal with this, Officer Guerrero, these abandoned lots, these abandoned properties? What do these places attract?
Just like your abandoned houses, and they attract nuisances. A lot of drugs, a lot of gang graffiti. I think you mentioned it earlier. So there's a lot of things that create negative issues. And some of these big lots do that. Some of these abandoned warehouses, abandoned homes, abandoned buildings, they create those bad environments for people to hang out, cause a lot of other crimes.
It's just simple things like graffiti, right? Graffiti in a neighborhood, a big old gang insignia going on up on a major intersection, and people are exposed to this. The kids are walking by and they're seeing these signs, these insignias. You know, it really changes the atmosphere of the community. There is a broken windows theory.
That's right.
Right?
Exactly. That's right.
And this broken windows theory established through a big study that neighborhoods that were not being attended, right? You had all the bad things happening there because nobody cared. Tell me a little bit more about this.
So if you see someone dumped some trash, you're not reporting it. Then somebody comes around and sees all this trash. They keep adding to the pile. Keep adding because no one cares. No one's reporting. No one's calling us to let us know what's going on in their neighborhood.
And I believe
we had a situation where we had some building that kept getting tagged by 2 rival gangs. So, I reached out to an artist, to help us do some murals out there. It took time. It took 2 years because you have to go through the whole process of contacting the owners, trying to get them on board, applying for different grants, finding funding for it. So we finally did. And we have 3 beautiful murals there, and it's right next to 2 different schools, which to me was, it's a nuisance. All these kids, elementary kids, are walking through this, rival gangs, graffiti all over, tagging. So now we have 3 beautiful murals there.
That's right. I really want to commend the work that you're doing for the community where you are stationed. I know we just had this weekend, this past Saturday, we had an event called Alianza Against Crime, and really all the resources were brought out there. The joy of people, the things that they were bringing, it was just good, right? All the posts that you had, the representation, it was great. It was awesome, right?
Yes, especially when it's inside of an apartment complex, and many people say, the crime is coming from this complex. There's so many people living there, and they also need resources to know how to report, crime. There's many people that are immigrant community that they don't know that they can report anonymously without letting people know their information. And so they're not willing to. So that's why we're trying to do more outreach.
So let's say I am new school, I'm not old school, I don't make the 311 phone call. Now there's an app, I believe?
There's an app.
So tell me about this app. There's an app, right? You can download it to your phone?
You can download it to your phone and you can make any reports through there.
Okay.
You can call in or you can email also.
Okay, there it is. 311, use it. It's a great resource. Not a lot of people use this method. If you make a report by using 311, especially on your phone, it's so awesome. You go to your Play Store, you download 311 app for the city of Houston. It gives you options of taking pictures of the big old, pothole, right? Big old pothole. Or the water leak, the water break.
Yes.
Take pictures of that.
Or your trash that's still there hasn't been collected.
Your trash hasn't been collected. And these reports, they have a number, a tracking number.
Yes.
Especially when you show evidence like photos, and you download these photos on there, you get a quick response, not only because you have the photos, but because the person that is on the receiving end can immediately determine, okay, this is exactly what we need for this, and they can dispatch the resources a lot quicker than sending for somebody to go and review it and see what's going on, to understand what really is going on. They send the resources a lot quicker. So thank you for all you do there, okay?
It's a one-stop shop, right?
Yeah. If people need to reach you, how do we reach you? Is there a number or email?
There's a number.
Okay.
832
Okay.
395 9914.
832.
395 9914.
If you have any questions regarding the services that her office has, of course, call her up, ask her. She will clarify anything that is needed.
Yes.
Veronica, it's always an honor. It's always a pleasure to work with you. You're always on call. You're always there when we call you, and really appreciate you. Okay.
Thank you.
And thank you to the management, everybody that works with you and allows you to be quickly to answer to the call. Okay.
Thank you.
Gracias. Yes.
Nice meeting you.
Yes. As we continue with this broadcast, vamos a invitar a la directora. Can you please signal her this? Okay. We are at High School for Law and Justice. This is a Smoothie with the cops. We're waiting for the kids. In a few minutes, they're going to be coming out. and again to be here with us and to share with us some good moments, some good interaction. And of course, we have the superstar. We have the principal here with us, kind of in charge of making this whole thing happen. Let's pass on this microphone to you and just put it on your yeah, put it right there.
All right.
This is live, right? Live programming. This is how it's done.
Okay.
Señorita, preséntese, por favor. Let us know who you are. Tell us what do you do at High School for Law and Justice?
So I'm the principal at the High School for Law and Justice, Stacy Garcia. Grew up in the East End, actually, born and raised in this side of town, a graduate of Melby High School, and now been principal of the High School for Law and Justice for 3 years.
High School for Law and Justice. Mm-hmm. So tell me what you do in the school. What does your everyday kind of look like?
It's actually fairly calm here. I'm super excited here recently. We've started to have partnerships and people come into the campus to help us out. But to tell you a little bit about our school, so that you can kind of understand that, is we are a magnet-only campus in HISD.
Okay.
And so our students do come in through application only. Okay. 99% of our students are living within the Houston Independent School District, but choose to come here instead of their zone campus for a couple of reasons. Maybe they're just, again, wanting the dynamic of a smaller campus, or they're truly interested in a law enforcement or criminal justice background. And so with that, we tend to sit somewhere between 450 to 485 students across grade levels 9 through 12. Our class sizes are, definitely range from somewhere to 20 to 30, so very good class size. And we are very career and technologically based as far as CTE courses. So students can pick from one of 4 pathways. We have government and public administration. We have emergency services. I heard you talking a little earlier about 311, and I'll get back to that program. Mm-hmm. We have law enforcement, and we also have legal studies. And so those are the 4 pathways that students kind of select as they come in their 9th grade year. Some change in 10th grade. Our law enforcement pathway is the most popular. We do have a teacher that teaches forensic science, and so when kids are doing tours of the building, as incoming students, he tends to show it up really well, and so they get very intrigued with the forensic science aspect of what happens in law enforcement. So definitely a big hook for getting them to come in. And of course, students that want to be lawyers or politicians is the other realm of what we do. So throughout the process of them having access to these hands-on classes, they either determine it's what they eventually want to do or not, right? So either way, our goal is to provide them with great instruction and access to things that I guess a lot of people don't even realize happen within an HISD school, right?
That's awesome, and I love you think outside the box. Mm-hmm. You're always thinking about what else, how do you continue to stimulate the minds of these kids to continue to grow. I love this concept, Smoothies with the cops, that you were so open to saying, yes, we want that relationship with the police. Super Dave, they call him Super Dave, right? For the super work that he's doing, providing us these smoothies with the kids. Again, it really is an awesome work that you're doing here. Now, tell us on basically what is the goal of these relationships that you're building with law enforcement?
So our students are unique in that they get a lot of access to people, again, in law enforcement and criminal justice. And throughout those interactions, they get to dialogue. We know, with social media, we know what's going on in the community, what goes on with even in race relations. There's a lot of unanswered questions for kids. And so sometimes there's not maybe a good relationship between law enforcement and students or the community. And so we don't necessarily do what we do to target fixing that. I think it is naturally occurring and happens throughout the process of them being in classes and having instructors that have worked in law enforcement to be able to dialogue, to ask questions, to dig deeper into race relation issues, or just in general how certain things are done. And so people find when they do come and work with our school, or we create these partnerships and want it to be a very welcoming place for law enforcement to come in, that our students are different in the sense that they've been able to dialogue and ask questions, and it gives them a different point of view as to what law enforcement can do, and definitely how they support our community.
So there's a lot of instruction going on that has to do with law enforcement, and of course you got all your basic courses that you have to cover, and you have to succeed to be able to continue in these very powerful programs at magnet standards.
Right.
The difference between the classroom setting and being taught in a classroom by a police officer or by somebody that's very knowledgeable in the field to what we're doing today. How do you see that enriching the kids and stimulating them?
I think even just through the interview process of me hiring teachers to come in to instruct my kids, to have someone stand in front of them that, let's say you're teaching a court systems class and this person in front of me is looking to get into education and they have worked in probation and they've worked in the court system, to be able to walk in and use that actual experience that you have, not only, to enrich that classroom, but to speak from experience is something that, that's not really interchangeable. So if it's only something you've learned in a book, you may be able to teach it, but to add that actual experience, and it's the same thing with my officers that teach law enforcement or my one that teaches forensics. There is such an additional enrichment added to that instruction and that classroom because that person is speaking from experience. And yes, we have the whole academic side. We have the math, it's the reading, writing, arithmetic part. We have the challenging them academically and offering AP courses as well. So we do what any other high school does in regards to math, science, reading, and social studies. It's just when it comes to the focus of those electives, it is going into that route. And so, again, I'm amazed when I have people that want to come and work in my CTE department to hear what they've done. Because I'm just fascinated that that's something they're going to be able to share with the students, right? So I'm speaking from experience, or I've done arrest, or I've been in a position where this worked or didn't work. And so we all know that, our experiences as a person definitely build on what we're able to do and give back. And so, again, this is a very unique campus.
Very unique, and of course the topics that are covered here affects not only do they cover what the past, what policing has been before, what and how things have changed. Now the past, the present, which is very important today. There's so many things in law enforcement that are continuing to change.
Right.
What is high school for law and justice? How do we prepare them for the future of law enforcement, for those that choose the path and for those that choose different paths in a law enforcement perspective?
And I'll kind of go to this. It is the interactions of people like yourself and the activity that we're going to have today, Smoothies with the Cop, and to be able to ask those questions, again, because this may not be for everyone, but I think the more that they dialogue, and we find it often, kids make mistakes, they do things, and a lot of that repairing and a lot of that redirection comes through that dialogue, through that talking. And so it is teaching them how to ask questions, teaching them how to find their path, teaching them how to make good decisions. But again, that it comes back to not only the teachers they have in the classroom across all content, but in dialoguing with community members like yourself. We have Law Day coming up as well. They're going to have access to learn what is their niche, what is their fit, right? So,
and that's what I was going to mention.
Yeah.
This is a pre-event to what Law Day looks like. Now, Law Day, what do you have happening coming up on the 11th?
Yeah. So what happens on Law Day is we have there's quite a few alum, such as yourself from HSLJ, or as well known, Law Enforcement and Criminal Justice, that are working in either law enforcement or and they're lawyers or they're politicians or whatnot. So in addition to them, we have community members that we ask to come in and speak. We do a couple rotations, so we have 2 people per classroom, 9 through 12 grade level within that class, and that person is going to talk a little bit about what they do for a living, how they got there, right? Are there any obstacles, right? Because I think it's very important for students to see people that look like them, to know I can be that, I can become something, I can come out of living in poverty and be successful, right? So definitely that's extremely important. And so through that, they get to have access to a couple speakers, learn about what they do, how they got there, what type of schooling did they need, or what type of certification. And then after that's done, we have kind of hands-on. So we have fire trucks out here, the police with the horses, cop cars, we may have a helicopter, again, a variety of things for them to kind of come out and see, like what is a West Bay, what is a Vest Way, those types of things. So it's just literally a full day for them to have hands-on activities. So I didn't forget, I was just thinking I need to talk about our emergency services program. I don't think many people are aware that in Greater Harris County, 311 Center, right? We basically provide 25 to 30 employees per year that are students. They're actually seniors in high school. They go and work there and they train for a whole year in their junior year and then have to go through a whole application process. And these students are in a co-op program, leave halfway through the day and actually get get paid and have a job working at 311. So they do a really good job. At getting that done, and we're very appreciative to have that partnership with them as well.
I have seen that classroom you have here. It looks like you're walking into some command center.
Yeah.
It looks like you're walking into NASA.
Yeah. It's real straight practice with the things to experience. Taking calls. Where are you on the map? Understanding how to help people. So it's definitely very unique.
And kids now they're so technologically advanced. And the computers.
Right.
And I look at that, I'm just overwhelmed by the technology that they're actually processing.
Right.
It looks exactly how our building looks like.
Correct.
It's been an awesome time that we've been sharing here at High School for Law and Criminal Justice, High School for Law and Justice, right? Now
Yes.
it's the new name. Empathy, being sympathetic with people, and just being a good police officer. Back in the day, maybe a lot of people thought that becoming a police officer, you needed to fit some sort of mold. Right? You needed to be just a person just straight out of the military, right? Or a person that was tall and just very muscular and mean looking, right? And now policing has definitely changed. People are not looking for something like that, but they're looking for somebody that is just a generous person, somebody that can listen.
Right.
And of course, when you have to act, you have to act. Is that something that you see that charisma in some of the kids?
Oh, absolutely. You've got your go-getters, but there needs to be a little bit of every kind, right? Because our community is not made up of one type of person, and so even in looking at a leadership on a campus, you want to have characteristics that complement each other. We don't all need to be alike because our students are not alike, and so we need to be able definitely to push in when we need to push in, pull away when we need to pull away, and tag the person who's better at doing something than we are. And I think definitely in having that diversity even through the police department helps you deal with the communities and be able to make those connections, right? So it's extremely important.
That's it. We're getting the guys right now. They're unloading the vehicle with all the materials to give out to the kids. So very excited. Oh, they're bringing some icy paletas. What's your favorite? Okay, it's gonna go. Gonna go that. Okay.
Yeah.
Good deal. All right. So as we prepare to continue with this journey, thank you so much, Directora.
All right. Thank you
for the contribution and for allowing us to be here.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Amen.
All right.
Yep. So we are at High School for Law and Justice. So we are doing this special broadcast, and of course, it's a day where we're gonna get to interact with the kids. And we're going to get to share some information with them, answer some questions. We got Officer Pantoja that's also here with us. Come on this way, sir. As we almost get ready to close the program, we also want to thank our friend Super Dave for being one of the people that are making this happen. He considers relational policing to be such an important thing, Rafael. Tell me about this journey of relational policing, community policing. I know the Houston Police Department, we were the ones that basically started community policing through the leadership many years ago.
That's right. I mean, I think we were one of the pioneers of community policing. We were very fortunate to have as police chief and mayor Lee P. Brown, who really started and came up with the principles of community policing. So we're very, very, very glad. It's a long journey to instill new principles into a police department, especially when for many years they had done things a certain way. So it takes a while to adapt for people to understand what these community policing principles that Lee P. Brown instituted here in the Houston Police Department. But we're very proud to be one of the first departments in the nation to instill these principles. So it takes a while, and I think that we are full blown now, community policing, and we want to continue to this because this is what creates these bridges between the police department and the community. And our goal is to create those ambassadors of the police department, because we can't do this without you. The Houston Police Department needs the community. They're our number one ally, and in order for us to improve the quality of life for everyone, we need you to be ambassadors to our department.
Yes, right, being ambassadors. And today, Rafael Pantoja, of course, he is an ambassador to the Latino community, and he's on a special assignment, but he's so graceful to be here with us just to provide and put in his 2 cents. Thank you so much, Rafael. Now, we're going to invite Mr. Collins, Officer Raul Collins, to join us here. It's very, Mr. Collins is also someone that's been extremely involved with the youth. that's been very involved with kids, with teenagers, and speaks to them, speaks to the heart. I was really impressed these last times that I've been able to join Mr. Collins and how he speaks to the kids and really the youth. A lot of the times when you get, I want to say, quote unquote, lectured, right? They feel like they're being lectured by somebody in uniform. Well, with Mr. Collins, actually, after we finish our presentation, the kids, they sit there and they're like, give me some more. I want to talk to you.
Yeah.
You know, as kids are headed for a break, you still have kids remaining there and they want to speak in a more intimate level about their issues, Mr. Collins. How important is that for us to hit those just those very intimate parts where maybe the kids don't even get to open up to their parents in the way they sometimes speak to us?
Well, it's very important. And the main thing that you want to realize when we're talking to the kids, we tell them to reach out to their counselors. The counselors at your schools play a very important role. A lot of them don't realize that they have those counselors, so we teach them. The counselor's going to be the person that, if you don't feel right that day, something's going on at home, the trusted person that you can talk to. Also, they'll be the person to help you keep on course to graduate. And another thing, they'll be the person to help write a letter of recommendation should your character be questioned for a college or university or another opportunity for a job. So that's just part of what we do. But when we doing our presentations and everything, what I try to convey to them, we go through it. In order to go through anything, anytime a storm is coming in your life, the storm comes through sometimes to clear the air so that your life can blossom and flourish. The air is fresher, the water's cleaner because it washes out off the bad stuff and stuff off the roads. So it's just another part of your life, and it builds your metal, makes your metal more solid because you're building a foundation now based on the rigors of what you've gone through in your life. The relevance for that is it's going to affect your life in how the positive or negative way in the choices and decisions that you make. And the final R, I'm going to say, is the relationships that you make through that, because now you're going to be the teacher, and it's all part of the process.
Now, Mr. Collins, you've been involved and engaged with kids. You've also been in patrol for many years. What's the big difference between what you did on the streets as a patrolman and to what you do now? How enriching is that?
It's wonderful because I pretty much did things the same way. Now, when we got calls from service, the calls on the books, that's what we go to. Sometimes you can actually use officer discretion to kind of settle some things. But today, we have the body-worn cameras, which is a blessing and a curse. Once upon a time, if you didn't cause any damage and you were in an accident and you were found to be drunk, we could call a unit, a tow truck to come get your vehicle and have someone to come get you and take you home. Make sure you're not driving. That's over with. So now you have to make a different. You got to be more accountable. We both are. Because if I let you go and you drive down the road, hit and kill someone, I face a lot of consequences from that.
So there's always consequences in our patrol, in the work we do on the streets, and then there's consequences with kids. You always, I love the word you always use, receipts.
Yes.
The community policing, being engaged with our youth. There's many receipts that you have been graced with, lots of commendations and lots of recognition from city leaders, something that you're not seeking for, obviously.
Right.
But the best receipt that we have is the phone call that you get from that youth that was in that school where it almost seemed like he didn't have an opportunity, but now he is in a university, now he's graduating as a police officer.
That's right. That's right. I've had some that come back since like 2011 and now they want to go in the police academy. So what I do is I go sit down and have a breakfast or a lunch with them and I'll explain. There was a time that you didn't know what you didn't know and you didn't have patience. So you need to have patience when you're dealing with them today. When on the appetite on our label, it says justice with mercy, order through law, just like that. Sometimes extend mercy and then patience. We tell people to be, patient, because by grace we're all, saved. So we should all exercise a certain amount of grace too. And we're coming out of a pandemic, so we should kind of take that in mind and adjust ourselves accordingly.
Okay. All right, guys. So is this what school is this? What school is this? Law and Justice. Can you say a little louder? High School for Law and Justice.
Yay!
All right, guys. We have some of these awesome kids and students, teenagers, that are going to this awesome school, Mr. Collins. They're coming out, and they're coming out all in a large group here to see the law enforcement and to speak to them. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. How do you feel about this interaction with police? On this side.
I mean, it's pretty cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you guys see this all the time? Is this something that, as we're coming out of this pandemic, it's starting to begin again?
Yeah, I'm really happy about this. This is a start. Ever since the pandemic, we've had to cancel a lot of events like Law Day.
Yeah.
That was an interactive event where a lot of officers would come out.
Yeah.
Officers, SWAT, firefighters would come out, and we would get to see and interact with them and find out ways that we can be like them.
Okay. What do you think about community policing, relational policing? How important is it that police come and visit with the community and visits with the youth, with the students?
Honestly, I think it's really important considering the times. Well, the social climate right now isn't exactly the best with cops. I'm not saying that right, but we just want cops to be painted in a positive light.
That's right. As a youth, what do you expect from a police officer to be? What do you expect from us, and what do you want as a youth from police?
Honestly, we just expect protectors, people that help enforce the law in the right ways,
That's pretty simple, but at the same time, did you hear that? She said that she expects for police officers to be protectors. That's what she wants from a police officer.
And that's what you should expect. We work for you. You should never fear us.
Right.
You should be able to come up. If you see me someplace, come up and dap me up always.
Exactly.
I take it personal if you didn't.
Did mom ever say, you need to behave or I'm going to call the police on you?
Yeah, all the time.
They're gonna give you a ticket. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna give you a ticket to go to the circus or something.
Yeah.
All right. Any word you want to say out to your friends or to anybody watching Community Shield?
I don't really have nothing to say. Oh my god! But thank you so much for the food.
What is that?
It's an icy. It's a ice cream.
Okay, good deal. All right. So this is the lunch break.
Yeah. Right now it's lunch.
What grade are you in?
I'm in 12th grade.
12. You're getting. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been here all 4 years.
So what are your plans?
Right now, I got accepted into UT Austin. I'm really excited about that. So, yeah. Actually, I currently work at the Houston Emergency Center. I was just
Give me some of that.
Yeah. I was gonna approach you guys and ask you, what station do you guys work at? Where do you patrol?
Well, we're at the Office of Community Affairs, but did you say something about Office of Emergency Communications?
Yeah, she's working there.
You working there now?
Yeah.
So you see Miss Terrell, she's one of our best dispatchers. You know her?
No.
T-shirt, she's day shift.
No, I work in afternoon. I work from 6 to 10.
Oh, okay. Yeah, very important job. You got a leg up on everyone because you're familiar with the area of town and the calls for service loop. That's very important.
Yeah, I actually work the 10-digit line, the non-emergency.
Oh, wow.
There you go. She's a product of what our principal was saying, that the kids and the youth get already involved, and some of them get hired already to, and they're working with HPD and emergency. Well, thank you so much for your service already.
Thank you so much. You're ahead of the game.
Is it A's and B's? A's and B's?
Yeah. Mostly.
Okay, good deal.
Yeah.
What's the subject struggle here? Which one? To me, it was math. Math.
It's always math.
Math. Okay. All right. Well, you're one of the toughest schools in HISD. So hey, more power to you, and you have a very successful career. Okay.
Thank you.
There you go. You too.
Great one.
Yeah, this is awesome. This is it's beginning with this moment where we're gonna get to interact with the kids, and gladly that's why we started the program a little earlier, so that we can get that opportunity to actually mingle and speak with the kids and share with them our experiences as law enforcement.
Yes.
I was mentioning when you get that phone call, that youth that was not in the best position and maybe was going through a lot in his life, and all of a sudden you get a successful phone call, you get a call of success. Tell me what that feels like.
It lets me know that I'm on the right angle and that this is worth it, what I'm doing. I've been at this for over 30 years. I always took it like this, not to take it personal, but as long as I give the information out and giving them the information, they're gonna make the decision. I just have to be believable and just show them what I went through. And I put myself out there. So that way they know that they can make it. I tell them, you're a lot smarter than me. You have more tools than I had as a young man. So use the tools around you and you can literally save yourself.
You know, this career is, we need good people. We need you to join the Houston Police Department. We need you to be part of this law enforcement movement where we want to create change. We want to help people. That's the number one answer whenever we're asked in the academy, why do you want to be a police officer? Because you want to help people, because you want to be part of the change, because you want to impact people's lives in a very positive way. So with that, we close this program of Community Shield at High School for Law and Justice at Smoothies with the cops, ice cream with the cops, and let's get going. We're going to be interacting with the kids in just a few seconds. We got Super Dave arriving. Super Dave! Let's get him to say a couple words here. Come on,
come say a couple words.
Come on. Thank you, Mr. Collins.
Thank you.
So, Mr. David, so what's going on today? Real quick, we're about to finish the program. Tell me, what's going on today?
Well, we're here provide some police interaction with the Law and Justice High School with Houston Police Department.
Okay.
We're providing some smoothies and some snacks for the kids.
What organization do you represent, sir?
Next Step Police Foundation.
Next Step Police Foundation. How critical is this interaction for you and for the organization?
Extremely. That's what we strive for, is increased interaction with the police department and the community.
There you go. Super Dave got here like the superstar that he is, making things happen, connecting police, law enforcement with the community. This is one of many events that he's working on. So let's get this going. Thank you so much, David, for the work that you're doing.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right, so this has been another program of Community Shield with the Houston Police Department. We'll check you out next Wednesday at the same time. Please share the program if you get a chance. Thank you, David. Thank you guys.